A Halfling Sonder, Sven's story. By Illyria Valistchin. A soft groan comes from his friend as he rolls over to face Sven. It takes a few moments and some blinking before Kerp is able to register who has called his name. "Sven," he says while rubbing his eyes. "What are you doing here?" "Looking for you. Willa is worried sick about you." Sven replies in a hushed tone. "Willa?" Kerp asks, confused. "Why? I have only been gone a day. Is she overreacting again?" He rolls his eyes in annoyance. "A day." Sven sounds a bit surprised. "It's been like 3 weeks." 3 weeks. Kerp gapes at the thought, his voice now echoing off the walls, forgetting the others around him. This makes some of the troop grumble and adjust their sleeping positions. "Shh," Sven hastily replies while giving him a nudge. A grumble comes from Kerp. "What? I don't think I am supposed to be here." Sven looks around with concern. "So, why have you been gone? Is something wrong?" "No. Nothing is wrong. I just hooked up with these folks who are outies." Kerp gestures to the troop. "They needed some fish, and they offered a nice pay. But most won't give them the time of day, 'cause of who they are. So, I thought I would offer to help. But all I managed to do was get myself stuck in one of their traps." Sven looks over to the tubes on the table. "Those stupid things." "Yeah," Kerp points to it. "You set them out in the water, and any fish or crustacean walking by gets caught. Of course you can wind up in it if you don't stop the impulse." "Oh." Sven looks a bit annoyed. "I smashed one." This causes Kerp to burst out laughing. "Why did you break it?" Looking down embarrassed, Sven just blurts out, "I didn't know what it was." "Well, it's fine. I am sure the tube put up quite a fight over its beating." Giving him a pat on the back, Kerp stands and lets loose a large stretch. "Come, I must take you to Grumtuck." "All right." Sven nods while looking around nervously. This makes Kerp chuckle even more as he walks over to a round ball of hair and gives it a tap on what one could only assume is a head. A low grumble comes from it while uncurling from its resting position. The tall and skinny halfling standing before the two of them makes both feel more anxious than before. "What is it, Kerp?" Grumtuck asks while blinking his eyes open. With a bit of a nervous shuffle, Kerp blurts out, "Grum, this is my best bud, Sven." Looking over at Sven, he asks, "How did he get here?" This makes Sven quickly point to the smaller group closest to the entrance of the cavern. While replying, trailed them. Giving a scratch to his head, Grumtuck then asks, Are you a hunter or just a tracker?" "I haven't really done either," Sven says. Blinking at the admittance Sven has just given, Grumtuck inquires, "Then how did they get your suspicion?" "I couldn't find Kerp, so I was just looking for him, and it led me to them," Sven says nervously. With a few more scratches and a deep look over from Grumtuck. "Well, you can't be going around telling about our hiding place," he says, while looking Sven over even more cautiously. I only wanted to find Kerp. His sister is worried about him." Sven manages to say under the studying gaze. "So you won't be blabbing about us then?" Grumtuck asks once more. "No. Why would I?" Sven says, "But Kerp needs to go home and see his sister, so that she knows he is all right." With that, Sven smacks Kerp's arm. "Oh, what was that for?" Kerp says while holding his arm. "To make sure you remember." Sven counters back. Grumtuck just nods to them while pointing to more of the tubes in a pile by the entrance. "There are the tubes, and don't get yourselves locked up again." With that, he lays back down, only to fall quickly back to sleep. Giving an exhausted sigh, Kerp walks over to the tubes and begins to put them into an empty sack. Once it is full, he turns to Sven and thrusts the remaining ones into his arms. "Here, you can help me take these home," Kerp says with the last tube in Sven's hand. "Fine, but I blame you for all of this," Sven says as he follows Kerp. "Blame me for what?" he says while looking back over his shoulder. "You know what? Always getting me caught up in this, or that. Sven gives him a bit of a nudge. Kerp gives yet another little grumble as they head into the hall that Sven had come through earlier. The small little lantern in Kerp's hand bounces the light about, making Sven curious on how they will get out this way. The walls had been smooth as glass when he fell in. Surely they had a different way to exit. But as they kept going, Sven got the odd sensation that the outies were definitely not all they seemed to be, that the townsfolk may have them completely wrong. Once the two had reached the mossy pillow, Kerp lets out a high-pitched whistle, and a bungee drops down, wrapping itself tightly around his waist. Thank you for listening to my story. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.